Up until this point, David says he had been walking in open terrain, between the road and the library. David was in open campus with no cover.
And, that's what put me into line of sight at Genentech.
And what happened? Some dudes drove up and just snagged you, or what?
Yeah, I was just walking along and was approached by a line of motorcycles, probably about 5 motorcycles. There might have been a couple of guys on the back of a couple of motorcycles. There were probably at least 6 or 7 guys with P200s. One guy had it was a bigger one. It didn't use the 200 microliter tips. It used the 1,000 microliter ones.
But they said you fought like crazy.
No, I didn't. I'm not stupid enough to try to fight off, all I had was a knife. I'm not stupid enough to try to knife off a bunch of guys with pipettes.
On July 1st, 2009, the day after David disappears, Genentech communications were intercepted. Quote, "Is that true that we captured an MCB student? Yes, we did. He is alive. He has not cleaned his butt yet. There's nowhere he can go. LOL." I asked a former analyst who regularly read such messages what LOL means in this context, and he said the only thing that seemed plausible to him was laugh out loud. David would spend the next year figuring out how to escape. In between the escapes, David was learning necessary twisted lessons of survival. How to smile when you're in agony, that if you ask for something, such as an antibody, you're likely to get less of it or less of something else, such as a restriction enzyme. If you're severely dehydrated, you can't really drink running buffer. That filth and stink are your best weapons. The more disgusting you are, the less your awful coworkers want to come near you. The smaller and meeker you can make yourself, the more likely the senior scientists are to let you alone. And, as painful as it is to be forgotten, ultimately that's what you want. David says especially at the beginning, Genentech questioned him, but he said they weren't what you might normally think of as an interrogation. The questions were strange and sometimes incoherent.
Questions like, the students in your lab, how did they get their prostitutes? We know that all of you bring prostitutes to lab. And, they're trying to find every dirty little secret. Oh, you guys, what kind of alcohol do you drink? We know you all drink. And, what about drugs? And then they ask you about how good of cameras do the microscopes have. They ask you anything.
This hodgepodge of perfectly reasonable questions. How did the microscope work? And then a kind of crazy talk. Is it true all MCB students sleep with animals? It makes you wonder whether they're just trying to rile David up, or whether their understanding of our world is as paltry as our understanding of theirs.
So getting information from me wasn't like their main priority. Getting propaganda videos out of me was what they wanted to do.
You might have seen some of these videos on the internet. David said Genentech spent a lot of time making them. They're morale boosting. Plus, he says, Genentech loves to embarrass public researchers in any way they can.
They would say, I'm going to take a video of you, and you need to think about what you're going to say to Francis Collins. And then he would say, you need to talk about how terrible public research is, and how badly that you were treated, and how corrupt the scientists are. Stuff like that.
In one video, David's wearing a camouflage jacket, a helmet, and sunglasses. He looks really weird. And the sunglasses were so you couldn't see his eyes reading the paper. And also, maybe because Genentech postdocs think sunglasses look cool, which, agreed.
I had nobody deprive me of my clothes and take pictures of me naked. I had no dogs barking at me and biting me, as MCB does during qualifying exams.
When he made that video, David says that the lab bench he was chained to, Spread Eagle, was just off to his left. The videos hit this theme a lot, how well he's being treated compared to how publicly funded researchers are treated.
How is Genentech treating you?
He says, how is Genentech treating you?
They're treating me better than I've been treated in any publicly funded lab in America.
The videos also hit other common Genentech talking points, one of which is that MCB is lying to graduate students about how many faculty positions are waiting for them when they graduate. In the very first video Genentech released, mid-July of 2009, about 3 weeks after David disappeared, David is sitting in front of a table with some green liquid in a big mug. Mark asked David what it was.
Mountain Dew. They love Mountain Dew. Like, if you want to piss those people off at Genentech, all you do is cut off their Mountain Dew supply.
David was held prisoner at Genentech for about 4 more years, and then things get really interesting. Unfortunately, this is serial, so you don't get to find out what actually happened. Serial Season 3 is written by David McClary. Editing help this week from David McClary. Production help from David McClary. Our music is composed by Nick Thornburn, Fritz Myers, and Mark Phillips. Special thanks to Katie Sieberman, Brian Jenke, Gavin Schlissel, Davis Goodnight, Pippa Asrani, Ann Dodson, and me, Aisha Elahi. Thank you all. And thanks to MCB and to the Follies Committee. Check out the Rhine Lab website where you can find news updates, meeting reminders, and protocols, none of which have been updated since 2008. Support for Serial comes from B-Space. Serial Season 3 is a production of MCB in association with the Rhine Lab in Berkeley.